I love you both like family. I've never hated you more in this moment than that exchange. That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh, we get a lot of shots. Everybody come to their net. We just have to get more and more pucks to their net.
What were you saying about putting pucks on net?
Continue to put pucks on net.
Well, that's the key. We got to get the puck on net.
Pucks on net.
He's got that nick for the net too. He just throws puck on net.
It was nice to get pucks on net.
Pucks on net and driving and making it a hard night on him.
Live on tape from Geeta's apartment, her palatial estate on the 23rd floor.
The snow almost reaches the balcony now.
Yeah, it's about 196 feet high, and we are snowed in. Geeta survived. I'm not even done the open.
I was going to cancel it at 6. I'm like, if I'm still stuck on the road, we're not doing a podcast tonight.
And I was in the gym locker room after my run at Club 16, and it was 6:04. And my hand was shaking.
It's not a workout if you don't tell everybody about it.
That's true. What's your Snapchat story?
I don't snap. I won't take a photo in the gym because I will follow all the gym etiquette rules now that are posted on the board, because a couple weeks ago I was in there. Some jagoff was drinking a 4-liter jug of chocolate milk while they worked out. And I was so disgusted. I'm like, I'm going to follow every fucking rule from here on out because of this asshole that's getting away with that.
So that's where Errol was the other day.
He saw the same guy. He came in about an hour afterwards. He's like, and I'm like,
oh, I get the full download of gym assholes when I get home.
Yeah. Well, like, we both got excited. I'm like, you got to hear about this guy. And he's like, well, let me tell you about this guy. No, it was the guy drinking and when we both said chocolate milk at the same time.
Well, I mean, 4 liters. It takes a while. It wasn't finished.
So between staring at people working out, what do you actually do at the gym?
Me?
Yeah.
I run. I only run at the gym. I run 5 kilometers every time I go there.
Okay.
I have
That's pretty good.
Can I just say, on Snapchat, I am still pending from Ryan Schaff. He has not approved me as a friend.
We don't carry your Snap story either.
I only add girls.
I know. No, I've seen you checking your Snapchat at work.
Oh, and my friend Quincy from Brandon, Manitoba.
All right.
Unrelated.
Well, thanks wherever you got us from, iTunes, Stitcher.
I actually didn't even do live on tape from Geeta's palatial estate on the 23rd floor.
Did we? We
this
did.
Is Pucks on Net.
Oh, my God. You have Alzheimer's. We totally did that.
we didn't.
Yes, we
Vancouver
did.
Hockey Podcast doesn't know about fantasy or fancy stats.
I swear we did it when he was talking about how high the snow was.
We got cut off.
Oh, yeah. We do that.
Jim, we're all fired up. We're bored with hockey. The Super Bowl just happened. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PucksNetCA, PucksNetCa. And in a little bit, we'll thank our first wave of Patreon donors, people that are giving us their money.
They all won money on the football game. They all, at least they were counting their chickens before they hatched, counting their falcons before they left the nest.
So we'll go around the room here once again. My name's Ryan, and as I discussed earlier, I'm running a 5K in about 26:40.
I'm Dave, and I haven't been to the gym in 6 weeks.
That's a bold lie, because you did, and then you went and ate pie afterwards.
Okay, yeah, but they canceled it out. I went and ate a whole apple pie for lunch. It's called the Bufflin diet.
I'm impressed.
I'm Geeta. I obsessively Snapchat these days.
Oh, really?
I'm basically a teenage girl.
Am I going by PMAC? Is that what we're doing on the podcast?
You do whatever you like.
Yeah, they don't know who you are.
I'm PMAC.
It's Steve Bannon.
Don't even joke about that.
You're looking healthy, Steve.
I could talk like the Dark Lord, Steve Bannon.
I have not seen something. Okay, introduce yourself.
PMAC, and I also apparently Snapchat like a teenage girl.
What are you snapping?
I don't really snap, but a lot of women snap things at me. So, you know.
If a ball wasn't pending, you would know what he was snapping.
He was supposed to cover the Florida Panthers game, and he was at Harry Potter World.
Hey, the Florida Panthers are my fringe playoff team of the week. They're healthy again. Mm-hmm. Nobody's been fired. They're scoring goals.
Jonathan Huberdeau is back in the lineup and looking pretty good.
Ooh.
ASIO playoff race. Huh?
James Reimer is trying to wrestle the net from Lucky Lou.
He is always trying to take the net away from someone.
He's really good at trying to take the net away from someone, and then when he gets the net, it's no good.
He's like Kevin in that Office gift that everybody shares, trying to bring that bucket of chili into the office.
Probably what I do best.
I got this.
Being the number one goalie is my favorite thing. It's probably what I do as he slips around in the crease as Patrice Bergeron scores that goal in Game 7.
Oh, that game. That's sad. I don't know if anybody was watching. You both were working the Canucks games. I don't know if you caught it, but I was watching that. I love watching the Maple Leafs right now. They're exciting as shit.
Oh, that Fire Wagon 6-5 game.
They just
I had an eye at it.
They just went. They went to overtime, tied 5-5 tonight, and I just want to get a final score because once again I'm telling Paul how much I love watching them lose.
Breaking news on the game that you'll hear about tomorrow.
Lost again.
Oh, they lost again. C'est dommage.
On the game we'll watch tomorrow?
Yeah, that's right.
Canucks game?
The Canucks are playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they playing?
Nashville Predators.
That's not going to go well.
No.
You want to know? Addition by subtraction, Mike Ribeiro's in Milwaukee. The good land.
Well, and Brendan Gauntz is in Utica, so they've both lost, powerhouse household names.
One saw crystal meth on the wire. One did a bunch of crystal meth. I'll let you decide which one's which.
No, Mike Ribeiro.
Something nanny.
He sexually assaulted the nanny. And that's why
Allegedly.
And that's why you didn't like when I said on Twitter that you look like Mike Ribeiro.
Also, he's a lot skinnier than me.
Yeah, well,
I could outwork Mike Ribeiro in the corners any day, bud.
Okay, so let's add to we're going to add to the ongoing list of people that you're better at hockey. Number 1, Justin Bieber.
Absolutely.
Mike Ribeiro.
Yeah.
And anybody else for this week, or is that it for this week?
I should add Dave's better at hockey than one person every week.
Okay. So,
I like it. We'll put together a full lineup that way.
We on the other subject of full lineups, people really responded well to our loser brother Canucks lineup.
Oh yeah.
And
did they have more loser brothers for us that we forgot?
There were a couple. Cal O'Reilly is on the Comets.
Ryan O'Reilly's brother, and he was called up a couple of times. Yeah, that's another one.
He's never played. I looked at his hockey DB. He's never been out of the Comets.
Preseason only.
Okay, but he's there. And Dave,
was he Canucks property or is he just a Comets player?
I'm not 100% sure.
He was definitely a Canucks property. I remember
he may
him.
have been an invite.
I can't remember. He got a 2-way contract. Okay. I remember that.
The other thing is you had a great tweet on Saturday night, and I legit LOL'd as the millennials on the couch here.
That got a lot of laughs in the press box. Actually, I got a lot of props on that.
Yeah, it was. What did you say, Michael?
Michael Granlund makes Marcus Granlund look like Steve Correa.
When the Canucks play a team, they have their coming out party.
Yeah.
And this one was Michael Granlund, who, he's kind of like Mikko Koivu. He's been on the Minnesota Wild for a while, but nobody really cares about him.
Well, no, I think he's gotten quite a bit of attention, but he's known for being more of a playmaker than a goal. That was his first career hat trick, if I remember correctly.
And he's on a Finnish postage stamp for his lacrosse goal in the World Championship.
That's pretty impressive.
He's been highly touted for quite a while, but he plays in Minnesota, and Minnesota actually scored some of the highest television ratings. They just released the top U.S. markets for NHL ratings.
Beloved everywhere but here.
But people don't pay attention to the Wild, even though they are second in the NHL, I think, right now.
I can't even find St. Paul on a map, all tucked away down there.
Well, relative to Canada, it is down there.
Down there by Missouri. In the subject of ratings, they're 5th in per game, average rating per game.
Are they entertaining?
Yeah.
Are they?
Did you watch that game?
Yeah.
They score some goals.
If I was still gambling, which I can assure you all I'm not, I would have definitely lost money because I wouldn't suspect that the Canucks and the Wild would score 9 goals combined.
Didn't they have 9 goals in the last time they played here?
They did. 5-4 win for Vancouver, yeah.
Jesus Christ. This is why I'm losing all that money. At the gambling, I'm not doing.
You just got to call PMAC here.
But then you'll be tied in. I don't know if you want that on your conscience.
That's fine.
On the subject of ratings, the Wild in America are the 4th most watched per game for regional broadcasts. So they have the 4th highest ratings.
I don't believe that. Sounds like fake news to me.
It's probably fake news. I got it off CNN.
That's an alternative fact.
Minnesota is the state of hockey. They never should have lost in an NHL team. That was ridiculous.
It was. Just after the Mighty Ducks movie, too.
And great, there were some North Stars jerseys at the Rogers the other night.
There were quite a few. There were definitely a lot. And I got to sass somebody in the elevator who was in a counterfeit jersey.
Really?
Mike
What are they
Modano?
doing in the Ella? What'd you say?
Mike Modano.
It was a drunk guy from a suite, and I made the NHL off ice officials literally guffaw. The guy went, this guy just tried to. He was like, we were full up in the elevator because there's always only one working, as Paul knows. There's only one elevator that works.
Well, the other one has Wayne Gretzky's signature on it.
No, that's
Nobody's
the one that works.
Yeah, that's the one that works. There's the other one's always out of service.
Yeah.
So
No, it is working, but it stops on every floor, so they don't stop very often and get stuck.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that. I'm going on that express elevator.
Same.
So
Take the stairs.
we're
you
on the
guys.
elevator, and this guy, like this drunk guy and his wife, try to squeeze on like 2 more people when we can't. And like the elevator attendant was like, hey, that's too many. And he's like, you can get 2 more on. And he's like, oh. And then he's like, we should just throw some people off. We paid a lot of money for these seats. I went, I believe the first person that we would kick off the elevator is the guy in the counterfeit jersey.
Hey, this was $19.
And he was like, and I'm like, you're not fooling anybody. I'm like, you should get on the other one, Team Store. They got to stop. And like everybody was just dying. He's like, Team Store. Yeah, I was like, oh, Team Store. I was a little short of that. I was like, yeah, man, we'll kick the guy off in the counterfeit jersey. I'm like, by the way, the Team Store has to stop. And he was just like, it was probably a little.
I'm glad you waited and found out that he was kind of a jerk before laying into him.
Oh,
that was great.
I wouldn't say anything until he opened his mouth.
Yeah,
And I'm
'cause, I
like-
mean, some people can't afford a regular jersey, so they got to go to
But
the
he
dark
can
side.
afford a suite, and he just said they paid a lot
But yeah,
of money.
no, that was the line. He dropped the I paid a lot of money. I'm like, well,
You're like, no one pays a lot of
didn't have-
money to be here.
you didn't have another $60 to upgrade that thing there, bud?
We could have you arrested for supporting piracy.
It's spelled Ryan Milner. Like, I don't know. We've ranted about this several times before, but like, it's stupid. Don't do it. They look bad, and you're not fooling anybody. It's like a toupee in the 80s. We all know.
It was sad they did the nice Henrik Sedin ceremony.
Beautiful.
First of all, they gave him a silver puck instead of a silver stick. Isn't it standard to get a silver stick?
Silver stick is 1,000 games.
Oh, okay, there you
He's
go.
got his silver stick.
Because
they
they gave
has a matching set.
They gave Ovi a silver stick, I think. So it's not standard, but I understand.
Traditionally, with the Canucks, it's the stick is for 1,000.
But
games.
during the pregame ceremony, they had all these beautiful shots of everybody
Yeah.
in their Hank jerseys in the crowd, and one of the key shots was like a wide one with a blatantly fake Henrik Sedin jersey.
It
bugged me.
It got a sigh, just like a
Vancouver was spelled with a Q.
Vancouver.
It said H Sundin on the back.
Hey, he's one of the Canucks members of the 100 Club.
H Sundin?
Yeah, Henrik Sundin.
Anyway, yeah, no, I did not wear my Henrik Sedin Team Sweden jersey into the press box, which is also, I'm pretty sure, counterfeit, but it was a gift
Also
from
kind
a
of
guy
a
in
no-no,
Sweden.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I would never wear
you're
jersey.
employed.
So the local guys have lost a few games in a row.
Yeah.
Are we looking at? Is it back to the Nolan Patrick sweepstakes or the Nico Herscher sweepstakes?
No, they
Can we draft a Virtanen again just to f things up?
Stefan Virtanen out of Abbotsford. We'll go scout him on the weekend. We'll be out there.
I select Patrick White.
He's 36. I select.
I said Patrick White.
I saw a great quote from Craig Button, and it just goes to show, like, you might just, we keep talking. It's like everybody's saying how you got to tank this year.
Okay.
And, Dave, you've been one of the more outspoken persons saying, if you got a chip in a chair.
You got a chance to win, but now you're 7 points out, so you're falling off your chair there, bud.
But now it's to the point where you might as well really start tanking, because as Craig Button said this week, he says, I'm not sure there's a difference between the 3rd pick and the 15th pick in this year's draft.
Okay.
It's like that's the type of drop-off they have in talent. So if
So keep trying?
They are not... Sorry.
What do we do?
They are not tanking, I was going to say, because Willie invoked the spirit of the New England Patriots at practice today. Did you hear about that?
He deflated the pucks.
He said, I've been having this video camera running for all the other teams' practices. We're going to watch it. We're going to see what they do.
Yeah, no, anyway, but yeah, he
Whoa,
just...
all that would lead to is These guys are good. Oh, no.
What am I going to do?
Oh, no.
Oh, well, that's why he asked for my Game Center login.
Willie, they give you one. I don't know how to use it. I can't figure out my Canucks.com email.
I lost
I'm all thumbs with this touchscreen on the iPad.
Lost my laptop and iPad in the Murphy bed. It just won't open.
The John Tortorella Memorial Murphy bed?
No, but no, he was saying like, oh, you just got to hang on. As long as you hang on, you got a chance. That was apparently his pep talk this morning.
Hang on to what? The puck?
That's not, yeah.
Rag it back.
And then he broke into some Bon Jovi. You got to hold on.
That's not what happened. They didn't hang on. That's what the Falcons tried to do, and it didn't work. The Patriots, they kicked it into overdrive.
The Patriots played like the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
The Falcons played like the Canucks.
Yeah, the Falcons had the auto coach 3000 on.
I didn't watch the game, but I'm just reporting that as what Willie said. He talked to the players about.
He says a lot of things. He also said Bo Horvat was a fourth line center. So
listen, I don't know what I'm going to get from this kid. He's just you know. But anyway, on the subject of Nolan Patrick, he's playing in Brandon again, and he has 23 points in 14 games.
Bless his heart.
Okay.
That's WHL points. So
yeah.
That's a lot of goals against
those are tyranning numbers. I'm not getting excited.
He's still slated to go number one because there's another guy, and then
Nico Herscher, the kid from the World Juniors, the Swiss kid.
He sounds more like a Formula One driver.
Probably is.
That's what he does in the off season. On the subject of hockey ratings earlier, do you know who the highest rated regional games in America is?
I could guess.
Okay, it's not who you think it is.
I would think it's the Chicago Blackhawks.
They are
on WGN Chicago.
They are fifth.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I got it right in front of me.
You really sure?
Yep.
You don't sound sure.
The most rated, the highest rated regional broadcast per team, the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, I could see that. They have nothing to live for over there. I've been to Buffalo. It sucks.
Well, you know how it's snowing right now in Vancouver and we don't want to leave? It's like this times like 1,000 in Buffalo.
Is it like the Newfoundland and Labrador of America?
No, it's like
It's like Hamilton.
Yeah. No, it is like Hamilton.
I guess Newfoundland and Labrador, at least they're fun people.
Literally on the other side of Hamilton.
No, it's like Hamilton, but there's no fun people. You go out to the bar and then Evander Kane beats you up.
I've seen footage of the Bills warm-up party. What are
Wait,
they?
there's a Snapchat story.
Nobody tailgates like the Buffalo Bills fans.
Yeah,
because the game is over by the time they kick the ball off. So you got to get your licks in.
Paul, I know you're not the biggest follower of football, but
I don't follow football at all. But I guess I did know about that.
There's a Vice documentary on it that just came out. That's
I encourage you to just Google on YouTube or Deadspin just Buffalo Bills tailgating, and you'll spend hours.
No, I did. Was there honestly a Vice? That's probably where I saw it, because I do watch Vice News. So.
Yeah, no, that's a real thing.
That's real news too.
The Vice TV website is fantastic. Remember that hockey documentary I sent you where those two towns, they hate each other and they play that game every year?
And the one team always wins.
Yeah, Shelbyville. I've got a playoff fringe team to watch as well, actually, that I really like, that I think they were dipping, and now I think they're resurging like a
Arizona
Phoenix
Coyotes. I gotcha.
Rising in the Arizona, but not them. No, they're rising in Seattle.
The Phoenix?
I think the Calgary Flames are going to come back and become a factor in this.
They're healthy.
They lost in New York, but Brian Elliott's figuring out that he's a goalie.
Yeah.
Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan, Troy the Dowler Brower. There's a lot to like about that team.
They're a lunch bucket team on the bottom six.
I think they're going to figure it out.
Figure out what?
They're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to play the Oilers in the Battle of Alberta. That's my dream. I want that to happen so badly. Connor McDavid is leading the NHL in points right now. As I predicted at the start of the season, I said he would win the Art Ross, and I think he's going to win the Art Ross.
But they are, and everything about that Calgary Flames team is very, very intriguing because they were beat up. Glenn Gulletson, you would go, I don't think he's got it.
Right.
And I don't know what he's doing. Actually, you know what he has? They have ebbs and flows. Ebbs and flows. Yeah, the ongoing streak of me continuing to mispronounce things. But 1 week you'll have Glenn Gulletson out in front of the media going like, I don't know, they only win when it's easy, and then the next week they're back in the playoffs.
Right.
It's just you know what? I hope that The winning streak, the wins happen more, and the stressed out gully happens less. But that's just me.
Okay.
But we all know the Canucks aren't going to make the playoffs.
We don't know that.
Playoffs? Who cares?
Yeah.
Honestly, who gives a shit? I don't care.
It's gotten to the point. Well, I mean, not that I'm ever cheering for one side or the other because I'm an unbiased member of the media, but I'm kind of happy when the road team wins because I spend more time with them.
Yeah, you were hanging out with
them. And I'm like, if the Canucks are going to make a big run, I do appreciate it, even from a media standpoint, because I get more games to work.
Yeah.
If they make the playoffs, I get more money. But yeah, no, it's sort of at the point where, the Canucks, if they're not going to do a lot of damage this year, does it really matter as long as they're still putting in some effort and the young players are developing along?
I mean, do you want to see them lose 4 or 5 games against Anaheim?
I want to see the Montreal Canadiens go on a huge buy binge at the fire sale.
Yep.
And then what?
And then lose to one of the other 7 really good Eastern Conference teams. They're like, this is our year. I'm like, no, it's not.
We had the Roma Ginla. He is a good guy.
They're going to go, and they said that they're going all in. I saw that from Mark Bergevin this week. He said that. And I was like, yeah, but you got to go through Pittsburgh, Washington. I still believe that Tampa Bay is going to rise from the ashes.
Dave,
I'm using that a lot today.
Dave, here is the Montreal Canadiens game plan.
I don't think they can beat the fucking Boston Bruins.
Not with that kind of attitude.
Well, boys, we can't beat these fucking Bruins, so let's just call it a night.
We traded Dale Weiss. Pack it up.
The curse of Dale Weiss.
Here's how the Montreal Canadiens make it to the Eastern Conference Final.
Everybody else plays each other?
No, they just play the Washington Capitals in the second round. Boom, automatic bye into the East Final. Because they can't make it out of the second round. They always lose, even when they got they have on paper a perfect team at the moment, and they can't make it out of the second round.
The Caps or the Habs?
No, the Caps have a perfect team. The Habs have a bunch of assholes and a couple
and a goalie.
I got a feeling it's going to be a team, maybe even both teams in the final, that you don't normally see in the final. It's going to be like Minnesota, Washington for the Stanley Cup or something.
Oh, God.
I mean, that's the easy one because I think they're both on top of their respective conferences right now. Or Columbus, Minnesota, NHL Stanley Cup Final.
I would love to see the ratings for a Columbus Minnesota Stanley Cup Final.
But lots of people are watching Minnesota hockey, as you said.
And those are two of the strongest
Actually,
two of the strongest markets for hockey traditionally in the US, Ohio and Minnesota. If we had to pick 2 states that are hockey states.
Worst Stanley Cup Finals ever.
Here's the kicker, though.
I would not watch a second of that.
But Dave,
it's like the Fuller House of Stanley Cup Finals.
Ouch.
Geeta just brought up a great point that a shitload of people will be watching that because the Wild have the 4th highest regional television ratings in America.
A lot of big Jason Pominville fans out in the Heartland.
Guess what the change in TV ratings for the Columbus Blue Jackets is this year compared to last?
None.
110%.
Front runners, baby.
So everybody's going to be watching. And actually the Wild, they're up 23% in terms of ratings per game.
More people are going to watch the Stanley Cup Final than the Super Bowl.
I think I brought it up before. I know a guy in Ohio who is a huge fan of sports, not necessarily hockey.
You bring this guy
much.
up a lot. He's the guy that likes the Olympics.
No, there's a guy in Texas that's a huge Olympics fan. I know a few people in the States in these places that aren't traditional hockey markets, but Ohio is. Yeah. He loves his Ohio State hockey.
Yeah.
And they want to like the Blue Jackets, but they've been so bad. If they continue to be successful beyond 1 or 2 seasons in a row,
right,
that could explode. Like, Ohio is a state that loves hockey.
That's right.
And it was the right place to put an expansion team. But, they're the Vancouver Grizzlies. I think I made that comparison way back. Vancouver Grizzlies of the NHL.
Yeah.
Because they just have not had a good enough team to sustain or warrant any support locally.
And they're going to move them to an arena that's shaped like a pyramid.
There you go. The Memphis Blue Jackets.
Oh, God, help us all.
Which would be ironic because I think, did we figure out Blue Jackets is a Civil War reference or something? And if they move
they'd have
south,
to be the Memphis Confederates.
We're
going to make hockey great again. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We're going back to ratings all episodes so far. But with like last week we were talking about going to the Canucks game and Geeta elegantly said it, she goes there for a quiet conversation, a quiet dinner and good conversation. Is the interest might not be there for Canucks fans. So I know some people. Mm-hmm. So I was able to pull some ratings for what the Canucks ratings are for regional games. And basically, we got them to run the last 2 games.
This is starting to feel a little fancy statish.
It is a fancy TV stat.
You know what people like to listen to?
What?
A bunch of people sit around talking about TV ratings.
Well, it's
This is good radio.
basically, at any given minute during a Canucks regional game, the last one against the road game against Arizona and the game we just watched against Anaheim, 200,000 people are watching at any given minute on Sportsnet.
Okay.
And their reach, so throughout the whole broadcast...
You're losing your podcast. People are picking up their phones.
People are... it's like for 1 minute, about 611,000 people across Canada watched a Canucks regional game for 1 minute.
Right.
We all have our phones out. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, well, that seems like a fair amount of people. 215,000 people.
I don't give a fuck.
Do you want to know how many people in Vancouver watch Schitt's Creek?
No.
175,000.
That's nice.
So...
I'm just trolling. I'm just trolling your segment. Oh man, no one cares about this shit.
No.
Nobody cares at all. You know what they do?
That's what nobody cares about the Canucks.
I know what cares
Dave
about.
McPhail is the spicer of the podcast.
Nobody cares. Everybody, stop it! I'll tell you what you do care about. You
He's
care
printed out
about
some tweets here for you.
There were 10 million people watching that Canucks game on Saturday night against Minnesota. I don't care what you say. No, you know what people do care about? The Colorado Avalanche and their fire sale. I would actually be interested to see what their TV numbers were and are now, because I'm pretty sure everybody's forgotten about that team, and it could probably move back to Quebec.
I have a TV rating stat for that.
Okay, fine. One more.
Their television ratings are down 57%.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So you're saying that winning has a direct correlation on whether people give a shit.
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to compare it to Schitt's Creek here and be eloquent and all that.
That's okay, man. That's all right. Just don't worry about it. It's fine. Jerome McGinley would like to be in a playoff team this year. I would like a toilet seat made of gold. Is Jerome McGinley worth picking up at the trade deadline?
I know one team, Paulie.
What's he making right now?
$5 million, but it's the last year of his
Boston
contract.
wants him back?
Calgary finishes
his career
checkered, questionable Hall of Fame career with a return home.
And a ring.
Can you imagine the Calgary Flames won the goddamn Stanley Cup?
I'd love that.
Could be.
If Jerome McGinley was still playing in the NHL and for another team and the Flames won the Cup, that would be amazing.
If you can bring him in and you have the cap space and he's a depth addition player, like a third liner.
He can't skate anymore. If you watch him play, like just watch him.
All right, what does Jerome McGinley offer me on the ice?
Oh, nothing on the ice. He'll fight somebody for it.
Leadership and the occasional power play goal.
Which might be, something they could use in a Calgary or Edmonton type of situation.
I disagree with Edmonton right there. And I was going to say, because he's from Edmonton, and then he's like, oh, you can go finish his career up in Edmonton. He would not be able to keep up with the forwards he'd be playing with on his line. I've played with guys like that before. I know it's a microcosm of the Spence League, but it's really frustrating. As good as the guy's hands are, like, he's just a step behind everything that's happening. So, like, yeah, he's got good enough hands to wire that rebound to the top corner, but he's not going to get there on time. Yeah. He's going to be half a step behind. So you put him with McDavid and Eberle.
But would you play him with
huffing and puffing?
Would you play him with those guys, or is he a depth bottom six guy for a team that can afford it?
He doesn't fit in with a team like that. He just does. Like, everybody has. It's a skating team.
Right.
You need to be able to skate to play on that team. You are not going to fit in with that model of that team. It'll disrupt things too much.
And unless they pick up a shitload of his salary, no Stanley Cup contender is going to pay $5 million a year for a guy to play on a line with Matty Tkachuk and Lance Boom Boom Boma.
He might do better on a half-court team, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to
like
anybody?
A basketball team?
No, but like a dump and chase, like, set up on the half wall type team. Like the San Jose Sharks might make sense.
Oh, big old guys.
Yeah, because he's a big old he's a big old guy.
No,
so
he's from that era.
his timing with the other big old guys would be pretty good.
I get what you're saying.
No, he's about a year older than Marlowe and Thornton.
Yeah,
That's
he had
what I'm saying. He's from. He had frosted tips.
On draft day.
They all have 98 Degrees albums.
Yeah.
It's fine. No, but what I'm saying is, like, he fits in with that mold. Like, they're not a run and gun jet stream team. They're not running a full court press.
No, you can't see through your beard.
No, the Sharks are a pound and ground team. They're going to throw it in the corner, throw big bodies at it, win puck battles, and get shots. He could still do that.
Mm-hmm.
So Edmonton, no way. Montreal, no way.
They'll do it though.
They'll do it. Yeah, they're all in. Teams like San Jose, Anaheim, LA, teams that are winning on size and strength. I know you think diversifying is the way to go. You build on your strengths. Jerome McGinley could help one of those teams.
And don't think the Avalanche won't swallow some of the salary for that if they can get anything back for Jerome McGinley at this point.
I think you'd be lucky to get a third round pick at this point. He's got like 8 goals this year. But he's like a minus 1,000.
If they're willing to swallow some of his salary, like
minus 1,000, Paul.
Even if
that's not an alternative.
How much salary? Like half?
At least.
So
you swallow some of that salary. You're going to be paying him anyway to be there till the end of the year.
And maybe half a pound of that fresh legal indica.
Is it even a matter of getting a third round pick? It's just getting
Rid
a
of
pick
him?
or a prospect, even a long shot prospect. Just because, what are they going to do? Why would they hold on to him? He hasn't been there long enough for it to be like a fan value, I don't think.
They got any pieces left over from the Lindros trade over there? Is there some draft pick that hasn't panned out? Some guy's been in the minors for 15 years.
Jocelyn Thibault is still in the... Is he? No.
He can't pass a drug test.
Brian Fogarty. Mike Huff. Mike Huff.
On the sub, I read an interesting thing on the Canucks Reddit today, and it said the Maple Leafs need players to expose in the expansion draft.
Okay.
And they might burn a higher-ish kind of draft pick on a player just to have on their team so they can say, all right, this is just exposed.
Oh.
Do they get to expose guys like Nathan Horton?
Yeah, but like, what about like a Joffrey Lupul? Where does he even play?
Joffrey Lupul has been on sports hernia IR.
So you're talking about people picking up John Van Beesbrooks, though. That's what
he wouldn't do well in Vegas. Like no, not even that. Like he's a fuck boy.
Yeah, no, that's where you build around Shane O'Brien.
Yeah,
and
but like those guys don't want to go to Vegas because they'll get lost in the fuck boy shuffle at the pool in Toronto and on Bay Street with that hair and those like ridiculously skinny suits. You'll fit right in, but at the pool at the Palms, There's
better athletes. You're bigger tiers.
You're a penguin in a herd of penguins.
You're not even a penguin.
They got plenty of Joffrey Lupuls in Vegas. They don't need another one.
They play for teams like the New York Yankees or
they're bartending at Sky Bar. But they're just doing it for a while to save up for new headshots for acting, and they're going right back to LA, I promise.
So the Canucks could, they asked, send some, Skilly or Chaput or Magna there for a 9th round pick.
Liquid hot Magna to Toronto for like a 7th round pick.
You like Magna though, so
I'm all about Magna. Magna.
He's out of the lineup.
No, he's back in because they sent Gauntz down. And
Good.
Boucher is sitting.
Stupid, reliable Brendan Gauntz. Steady as a rock. Never complain about him, Brendan Gauntz. It sucks for Brendan Gauntz. All kidding aside, he does not deserve a demotion.
He's been, I think he's even, or he's right around 0, like plus minus. And
Same as his goal total.
Stats.
Yeah, it's great.
But as a 4th line center on this kind of team, when the Sedins are both like minus 15 or something, it's like, you know what? He's probably doing what he should be with that ice time and the players he's with.
Why is everyone's plus minus the same as the temperatures in Vancouver?
Because they're not very good. we gotta get rid of Brendan. God, he's helping us win.
No, somebody was tweeting about that as part of the tank because it's like, okay, of the 4th line guys, who's been defensively the most reliable? Well, Gauntz has been the guy hanging back and trying to play defense.
We don't need that in here.
Get rid of him.
He's forcing shots to the outside. He's getting sticks in the lane. We can't have that.
Can't have Reed Boucher in the lineup either.
No, he's ruining it.
He might score goals.
Might score a goal.
Oh, I got a big news. I'm going to add some sort of maybe some triumphant music later.
Triumphant music?
Yeah, the Russian.
Is this breaking?
No, it happened yesterday morning. Anybody take a look at that waiver wire?
Oh.
Talking about Take Me Home, Frank Corrado Roads.
Sal Corrado is so happy his kid is going to get to play at the Rico Coliseum. Oh. There was an agricultural exhibit there last week where they got the cow smell out of the Rico. The ice is back in. Frankie's going to play. He's going to take on the Adirondack Thunder or whoever plays against them.
That's the best part. Frankie's going to play.
Will he?
He might play Jimmy Howard in the Grand Rapids Griffins. You know Jimmy Howard's in the minors
No, he's
now?
on IR.
He's rehabbing right now.
Oh, okay.
He's doing a bullpen session down in Grand Rapids.
He's
throwing a simulated game.
Yeah.
You don't see Frankie Corrado rising like a phoenix from the ashes?
I do not. I see Frankie Corrado being a depth defenseman on the Las Vegas Golden Knights next year.
Hey, that's something.
Sal can get a cheap flight, WestJet, baby. You can watch him not play in Las Vegas.
It's funny you said that.
I want Frank Corrado to succeed at this point.
I don't.
He's been through so much.
I don't give a shit about Frank Corrado.
He's a complainer. I don't care.
He's a pot stirrer.
He is.
Coach doesn't like me. Shut up, Frankie.
And he's not saying these quotes to the First, or he's not saying this to the Sun or the Hockey News. He's saying this to some bloggers. It's like, I don't know why they don't like me. I'm just trying.
Hey man, Deeren was in the right place at the right time.
It's like.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Deeren.
I believe he
I don't
did.
care.
No, he interviewed Virtanen.
Yeah.
Deeren's hot big get for this year was Virtanen.
But he's good at
Well,
it. He
yeah.
sidles it when they're. It seems like when they're at their most vulnerable, there's Deeren just like, how's it going? How do you really feel?
Do you want to talk about it?
He's
No,
good.
no,
Hey,
he-
all props to Deeren. Like, he seems to get them when they're like
Yeah.
not really at their best.
His big break was, so Jake, what was the stuff you forgot?
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know what the hell they were talking about.
Do you need some stuff? I got some stuff.
Oh.
You need some stuff.
we
He was
haven't-
just in Colorado talking to Jerome McGinley.
They must be playing the Marlies because a bunch of the comments I follow on Instagram are like they're at the Drake game, the basketball game.
We haven't talked about this yet. Ken Hitchcock got fired.
Yay!
Did you find that a little weird that they had that Mike Yeo, the former Wild
Yeo?
Yow.
No.
Yao?
No, just yeah.
Well, they
Mike
had.
Yao?
They knew that this was. I think they had a hair trigger because they had this associate coach thing set up, and it's like, yeah, Hitch is getting old.
He's getting real old.
He's starting to not care about himself anymore. He's not fitting into those.
What, he
track
let
suits.
himself go?
Yeah, I think like when your gut is hanging out when you're on the ice, and that's not good for Reebok's brand.
That's why they're getting. That's
It's
why they're
not on
hitting the
brand.
road.
No, you know what?
Adidas isn't going to have
all
that
kidding
shit.
aside, I think he's a sacrificial lamb, and I think he probably agreed to it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Him and his buddy Bobby Armstrong, the GM, they're like, hey, like, look, I fucked up and I didn't get you a goalie. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Can I fire you? You're gonna get paid anyway.
He's
you're
like-
you're not winning a Stanley Cup with this team. You got your ring. Can you just go away?
He's like fired.
Sure, bud, no problem.
Fire the goalie coach too, just so I don't look too bad.
Yeah.
But I think he's got that. I always compare like when a coach has that level of respect. It's like Pat Quinn when he coached the Oilers for that little bit. He's like, Pat Quinn doesn't get fired. Pat Quinn says, I'm going to step away from this now.
You can fire me now.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened with Hitch, right? Do we
Yeah.
all think the same thing?
Well, because it was set up, for him to retire at the end of the year. So I feel
Oh,
like
okay.
that's just bad PR. But if he's okay with it, it's earlier retirement for him.
Hey, Jake Allen should go in the Hall of Fame. He retired one of the best coaches in the league. Knocked him right out of the game.
Oh.
They sent him home too, just to go back and try and figure things out.
Coaching in the NHL is stressful enough, but if you have a goalie that's allergic to pucks,
Well, that rubber it gets itchy on you.
it's
yeah.
itchy, causes hives.
Yeah.
Poor Jakey.
The new tight pants chafe.
They couldn't get Marty Brodeur out of the front office to go back in there and place the goal.
Well, he's assistant GM. Why doesn't he kind of take on the reins of goalie
Like
coach?
Roger Dorn in Major League
Oh,
2. I
as a
activated
pla-
myself.
Yeah, as opposed to player coach. Player GM?
I'm surprised he's not player GM, but Doug Armstrong, the GM, he had a good quote when he goes, "We don't lose with pride," and he called the roster independent contractors as opposed to a team, and added Hitchcock was a Hall of Famer, and they were not.
So I kept all the not Hall of Famers, and I got rid of the Hall of Famer.
It sounds like they were playing for the name on the back of the sweater and for free agency.
That's Tarasenko. Tarasenko.
I wonder if that's how you spell that.
No.
One other thing I read about Hitch was that he's a pretty fiery guy, and
Like he likes spicy food?
yeah, he like a real good like a jalapeno burger from Wendy's.
Are we talking about Brizgalov? Did you hear that quote?
No, what was
Oh,
it?
continue your story. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. And Hitchcock has in the past has expressed the importance of a captain, and it's like so that he needs a captain that he can really unload on and kind of like lose his shit on.
You got to get the boys to get their shit together.
Yeah. And
Nom, 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 nom.
what was that, Hitch? Is that some chicken in your mouth there?
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
It was a good road trip in Buffalo. I got some wings.
And apparently David Backus really filled that role well, But then David Backes, being an independent contractor and not a team guy, went to free agency and got a really good payday and a really bad deal with Boston Bruins.
So he needs a captain with a safe word that gets muffled.
Yes.
So he can just unload on him.
And I don't think they have one right now. I don't even think they have. Oh, their captain is
Alex Petrolangelo.
And I don't think he is
as thick-skinned as David Backes.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that was just an interesting thing I read this morning because
is it true, not to get off topic, but I just saw this in the rundown, that the Islanders might be moving to Hartford?
The Connecticut folk, local government has expressed with open arms, come on, we got a rink for you.
No, they don't. The Whalers played at a shopping mall.
Yeah, well, they're gonna move the J.C. Penney. Right now, there's no ice. There's just like a J.C. Penney overflow.
They could make a new
markdowns.
HMV went out of business. That could be a luxury box. The Aldo could be a luxury box.
So they did a little. I don't know if it's just a PR stunt, but hey, if you're looking for a place to play
with arms wide open,
we got 9,000 nice seats ready to go for you.
Man. That Islanders situation is messy. That team's got Staples Center written all over it. Roger Goodell's just going to pick them up and move them to Los Angeles.
That's cool.
Roger, you don't work here. I got it. Don't worry about it. We're moving all the teams to L.A. It's going to be fine. I gave Brady the trophy. I need this. You got to give me something to do.
Polly, what were you saying about Brizgalov?
Well, Brizgalov went to the All-Star weekend for the Players Tribune. Did you guys hear about that?
I did.
Okay.
I saw some of them.
Going around talking to players, and apparently some of them, he might have brought up something sort of just grazing the political conversation in the U.S. because he interviewed a lot of Americans and a lot of Russians. And
always a safe bet.
Some of them were pro-Trump. I can't remember who it was.
A lot of them.
Anyway, one of the Americans was a bit of a pro-Trump anyway, but one of them tried to talk a bit about the current political situation. He goes, oh no, we're not talking about this. It's a very spicy, I can't remember the words he used to describe it now, spicy and something else topic. We're not talking about that it's too spicy. That was Brizgalov.
I like that terminology. Right
anyway,
there.
I need to watch the full interview. I just heard some clips of it, but Brizgalov is just a great guy. Great guy. He talks about space. He talks about what players.
Humongous big.
But no politics. U.S. politics is just a downer.
He would fit in at the old McPhail house. That was the McPhail family rule at the dinner table: was no politics and no religion at the dinner table. My dad enforced that shit to the letter.
All hockey.
Those are my favorite first date topics.
What?
Well, they seem to just come up out of
Geeta just goes, I want to talk about the political situation at the Vatican right now.
But it's a good screen, isn't it? If we're getting into dump and chase territory, it's a good screen. You gotta know right away.
Exactly.
We'll probably
put it out there.
I don't know if we'll do dump and chase
I
this
asked
week.
my last date about his past relationships. I put it all out there.
What religion are you? What do you think about the U.S. political climate? How many kids do you want? Where are you going?
I'm like, I need you to tell me why you two broke up.
Oh.
What did he want to name his first son?
I don't know. I didn't ask
Jaden,
that.
what a loser.
With 3 Ys. What a shitbag.
What a millennial name.
Oh, yeah. Here's my son, infinity sign. You can't punish him. I just want him to be his true self.
Oh, well, Dave wants to name his kid Seven. That was a Seinfeld quote.
Or Soda. No,
I kind of do, actually.
No, but then his...
Way to bring it up. Someone's going to steal it
Well,
now,
someone's
Paul.
going to name their kid 11.
Or
you know that.
Some idiot's going to name their kid
Yeah.
Brixton.
Brixton.
And I'm going to beat the shit out. Okay, you know what those kids are now called that dab on the screen? Little Brixtons. It was killing me. Like, the game was shit last night, so I was just... or on Saturday night, so it was just pretty much on Twitter.
You do realize that kids, the dab is now Gangnam Style. They're kids. They don't know any better.
Stop dabbing. Your parents know better.
They're
That's bad
9 years old.
But they got to know that's lame.
What do you do? Just slap them on the arm? Say, no, son.
No, just
you know what?
no dabbing.
It's got to be lame because when I was in Prince Albert last year for the playoffs, we had our camera in the concourse. All the kids from the middle of Saskatchewan.
I got to stop you. You mispronounced the name of the town.
Prince Albert?
It's Penis Piercing, Saskatchewan. Anyway, you were saying.
They dabbed in penis piercing. That's a 2-prison town, that penis piercing.
I like it.
They got 2 prisons in Prince Albert?
Yeah, the one was right behind our hotel.
Perfect.
And a guy escaped from it.
Well, you were there?
And my hotel room was on the ground floor.
Like, lock your doors.
Yeah, and it's just window.
I thought you were going to say that the
Are there
hotel,
bars
the
on your
hotel
window?
staff, it's like a prison release program, and they're like cleaning the rooms.
It wouldn't have surprised me. There were no bars.
They see you when you're sleeping. They know when you're awake.
I was in.
They know if you've been bad or good.
I just remember like one of the producers one of our content producers on the show,
Yeah.
telling me like, oh, a guy just escaped from the jail behind our hotel, and I go, what? And he's like, where are you right now? I'm like, I'm in the drive-through at McDonald's. Oh, watch out! That's probably what they're doing. Probably hitting the drive-through at McDonald's. Taste of freedom before they hit the road. Lock your doors. I was terrified.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife. That penis piercing Saskatchewan's a very dangerous, ramshackle town. They also play hockey at a community center.
So is penis piercing our transition to Andrew Shaw?
Yes, smooth transition. A Studley one, if you will.
Every team has.
Oh, PMAC, don't look so sad.
What do you have against LGBTQ ambassadors?
Whoa, I didn't
We've
say
already
that.
talked about how.
I just feel like the penis piercing it was used a little excessively there. We're gonna scare away the family listeners.
Speaking of penises, Andrew Shaw is the LGBTQ ambassador for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yes, which is ironic because he got suspended last year
for dropping the 3-letter F-bomb.
Yes, well, I think it was a 5-letter F-bomb, couple syllables.
Ugh.
Yeah,
6.
Yeah, 6. He's kind of taken it upon himself, which is kind of endearing. Like, I need to, better myself.
I need to up my profile so that people don't hate me. It's totally selfless.
Well, people already hate him because he keeps slew-footing Connor McDavid.
Right.
But he is it for the Habs, which I think is nice. Hopefully, he's he's putting the work in. He's trying to progress and be a better person.
Does every team have?
Yes.
Oh.
And
he wore a pantsuit to the game.
Who?
It was very tasteful.
Like who's Vancouver's?
Hank Sedin.
Oh, okay.
And he announced that on After Hours, and then the Canucks are wearing rainbow lettering and numbers in a warm up on. I think
the 28th.
Yeah, which I think is really cool.
Yeah,
it's kind of like what Emerson, former AHL or NHL Emerson Edom wore during the Pride Parade.
I call those guys slashers because they're both Comets and Canucks.
There you go.
Former Utica Canuck Emerson Edom.
It was weird because before the last game, I saw them throw a Henrik Sedin jersey on the ice before the game started.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the numbering was I thought it was like a fake jersey at first because I'm like,
Right.
what is wrong with that? Because I'm level 5. I'm a ways away.
You're about a quarter mile away.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, what is wrong with that jersey? And why are they taking photos of it out on the ice? But no, after I saw the press conference with the rainbow numbering and lettering, and so yeah, that's much cooler than counterfeit jerseys.
And the other ambassador I know off the top of my head is Brad Marchand, who, despite he's on a roller coaster of fantastic hockey player, complete asshole, slew footer, and up and down. He is the ambassador for the Bruins, but he has taken a very vocal approach to being supportive, and he somebody on Twitter dropped him the 6-letter F-bomb, and he said that hate is bullshit. Your parents should be ashamed of you. Like, he's really taken in that role of in his.
Your mom's gonna be so mad at you.
And he was interviewed about if an openly gay player would be welcomed in an NHL dressing room.
Right.
And noted asshole Brad Marchand was like, absolutely, like there wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
And so he's really taking it upon himself to be welcoming, which I really like.
I feel like it's not really an issue. Like, for a lot of these younger guys, it's not foreign anymore. We all grew up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can't speak for the older players or maybe some players from some other parts of the world.
Frosted tip players?
Russia. But...
or, the state of America.
I think there's like one player from the South, and it's Jason Megna, and he seems like a nice boy.
Yeah.
But no, it's not really... I think for 90% of these guys, they've been properly educated on the subject. I really think that a gay player could walk into a room now and it'd be like a story for about 5 minutes in that room. The media would take it and run with it, but I think for the players, it'd be like, whoa, this is different. Well, we got San Jose tonight. Like, I think that's kind of how that would go.
You don't think there would be the same sort of circus that what was his name in the Michael Sam for the Rams?
Because these are hockey players.
Yeah. Like I think it could be a lot more toned down too.
Yeah. No, football is
A circus?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't hold football players in the same esteem that I would a hockey player.
Easy there, Don Cherry.
I don't know. We've had multiple sex boat party scandals in the NFL. Multiple. In like the last 3 years.
It seems
I'm
like
just saying.
It's a sex and drug boat party. Like it's a lot of work. Like
Different culture, is that what we're saying?
I think yeah.
It's I don't know. Football seems to be a much more old school, like it's an old boys club.
A little bit, yeah. Well, let's look at the owners.
Yeah, they're getting there. It'll one day. They're just behind. Hockey's a little more progressive.
Is it a regional thing? Because we've seen in the U.S., it seems like certain regions are maybe more progressive in certain ways than others. They've had issues with bathrooms.
Some regions can read. Some regions can't. Some regions...
I wasn't going to go there, but athletes come from different communities.
Yeah.
And other sports generally have more American base as far as their athletes.
Right.
Canadian kids, yeah, they might come from smaller towns where there are more, I guess, conservative base.
We
that
are
might have different. I don't want to say all conservatives are like that because they definitely aren't.
No, of course
in this
not.
country.
No, both of
though,
those
there's a
guys who
little
are
bit-
not like that are awesome.
A little bit more of maybe a progressive in that, at least, opinion.
Yeah.
We hope. Although, you know, well,
Yeah,
Canada's a very much more...
we
whatever,
like to say Canada's better, but I mean, Canada's got its issues too. So,
Hey, speaking
we're
of,
much more of a whatever floats your boat kind of group.
I was
relative, yes, relatively so.
We'll push Dump and Chase to next week just because we're out of time.
I don't have anything.
I thought you had your angry guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I have a Tinder date on Thursday.
Ooh.
So
Next week.
Double segments.
yeah, so maybe we'll have.
Is her name Stephanie?
Listen, just because her name is Stephanie number 6, it's none of your damn business.
The only Stephanie I like is Pagani because she's a loyal listener.
That's true. She is.
She's good people.
So I just wanna I wanna wrap up the show this week because we had our first week of Patreon backers, and I just want to give them all shout outs. There's 5 of them in the first week.
Thank you, New England Patreons.
Favorite,
I like that.
favorite listeners.
You're all
we love you all, but especially these 5.
Ryan can't pay his rent. That's where it's all going. He lost it all in the football game.
Listen, I had an inside source, didn't? So Fletcher, speaking of wrestling, Fletcher Gray, he pledged $5, which gives him access to our donor-only content. The first thing we're gonna do
Who's
is
Fletcher Gray?
he's a guy that gave us $5.
But what,
Okay.
how did that tie?
What does that tie into wrestling?
Oh, he's starting a wrestling podcast,
Oh.
and I said I would watch it because it's a
Okay.
video. But he pledged 5 bones, which is the minimum you have to give to
Thanks,
get
Fletcher.
to the donor only content. Which I can say now, next week or the week after, we're gonna watch. We're finally gonna watch Mighty Ducks as we tried to 3 years ago.
Oh, why are we doing that? Didn't work.
But now we'll all be there to watch it.
Yeah, how's that going to be?
Well, I won't edit it. Dave, in the very it's the 6th episode.
Yeah,
where
that dress. I like that.
only Dave and I watched Mighty Ducks, and like we were pretty green when it came to podcasting, so we had to like hack it up because we didn't know how to be funny.
Yeah,
But,
no, I
so
definitely didn't know how to be funny.
If I understand this, you want to run it so people can hit play at the same time
the commentary,
and listen to us while they watch it at home.
Who wants that?
You'd be surprised.
Okay, I'll go with it. 'cause
Are
I'm
you
a-
really asking for that?
The other thing we're gonna do.
If people would rather have something else, send your
I'm
suggestions
asking
to
the
Ryan.
listeners.
yeah, if you want to see something else, let us know.
I'm going to read my correspondence. I'm going to read out my bills.
We'll know how much debt Dave is in.
Work emails.
Work emails. Dave, if you could
No.
get this match move reviewed, that'd be great. Okay, cool. Thanks. Bye.
It's not my week to clean out the refrigerator in the kitchenette on the 3rd floor. It's Johnson's week. That's what my emails would say.
Okay. I don't clean the kitchens.
Chris Benninger, 5. He bet 5 bones or gave bet.
Paul, are you cleaning the kitchens at Shaw?
No, I do not
Is
use
there
the
a
kitchens.
is there a sign-in sheet?
They do throw everything out on Fridays, though. That's a new rule.
Yeah, they
someone
do that.
can clean it.
They do that. They'll throw your Tupperware right out.
Yeah.
Cold,
Even
black-hearted
Pyrex,
bastards.
I've heard.
Ooh,
As
Pyrex
they
is
should.
expensive.
Brady Fox, local handsome man with a good-looking dog. He's a guy that used to live about 2 blocks from you. He won our Bo Horvat Jersey contest a couple of years ago.
Oh, yes, that's right. Brady Fox.
He pledged $5.
Dude's a fox.
And
Michael J. Fox.
Rob Duckworth, quack quack, Mr. Duckworth. He pledged 5 bones. And Steven Tamoser, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. He's a longtime listener in Edmonton. $25, which means he's getting a T-shirt and a puck, which means I gotta get. So anybody that's wanting to donate to pledge. The levels, it's very simple. You can match $5 and you get access to donor-only content, which could be Mighty Ducks or correspondence would be the first one.
Did we skim over one, or did you read it and it just got? I felt like
Which
it
one?
got run over. Chris Benninger. We want to make sure.
Yeah, I did that one.
Gets the proper
She should
love.
be our next bachelorette.
Yeah, I agree. She's
Here.
got fantastic cleavage.
You guys could watch The Bachelorette for some donor-only content.
That's our spin-off podcast after the final rose.
So just run down these quick.
I'm way behind on this show.
I
gonna-
didn't even finish watching last
I'm
night.
gonna iTunes and binge watch it once it's all over. That's my new plan. I'm gonna take a full week off work and watch this entire thing.
For $10, you can you get the donor-only content, and when we do a live show, you can get them for free. $15, you get all that, and you get a Pucks on It puck, which I'm in the.
Who wants to see us do a live show?
And
Like,
who are all these people who like us so
on
much?
video?
What's
I'll
wrong with
snap
you?
it.
I know it's hard. Ryan and I were talking about this. I think, Dave, you're in the same boat as me. We're very unappreciative of ourselves, but other people enjoy
I'm terrible.
our opinions, I suppose. And I really appreciate that we have somebody that appreciates us, because we don't appreciate ourselves.
No, I appreciate you, P-Mac.
I appreciate all of you very much.
Yeah, you better.
Well, on that appreciative note,
Oh, hang on.
You've lost him. The
I'm
Bachelorette's
almost
going,
done.
or Bachelor.
$25.
I'm hungry.
25
and it's
bucks.
a blizzard out there.
25. Blizzard is not a dinner, Dave. All right, that's ice cream and whatever. It's not healthy.
All the ice cream you could eat.
$25, you get a T-shirt, you get a puck, you get all the stuff before. For $100, you get everything, and you get an invite to the Pucks on It Christmas party.
For $200, you get Dave, and I'm all inclusive.
No rules.
That cheese ball at the Christmas party, it's worth $100 a month.
You get to meet Adam Kennedy too, and he's real nice.
And finally, for $175, you can sponsor the show, and we'll do ad reads and promote it on social media. Basically, I want one or two of these companies to sponsor us. Number one, Brazzers, obviously, and number two, Apothic Wines, because
I'll only allow Brazzers to sponsor us if they do a Pucks on Net porn spoof.
Oh, I'm like, I'd record a commercial for them.
when it comes
I don't
to
like the sound of
online
that.
pornography. So there you go,
Yeah.
Brazzers.
Pucks on Net only chooses
man.
one choice.
Geeta will do a sultry read at the beginning of every show. Maybe there could be a coupon
Why does
code.
it have to be Geeta?
Yeah.
That's
She's-
sexist.
Because they're Team Geeta.
Yeah, who's the most?
Well, that's true too.
Listen, Paul, I know you're a very attractive man
I'd
too.
bring somebody that'd be like Red Tube, more like Dead Tube.
And so it's only $175 a month. So think about it, Brazzers, Apothic Reds, or
Local
whatever.
breweries in Vancouver, maybe.
Oh yeah,
The Vancouver Canucks. We'll say we are all Canucks.
We'll drive the Red Truck Lager Brewing Company to success. Cold, frosty success.
That's delicious.
Also, Strange Fellows Brewing. We're a bunch of strange fellows.
I
Why
was
not
the
sponsor
voice.
us?
I was the voice of Whistler Brewing Vancouver Canadians games this last summer. So maybe Whistler wants to jump in, get more of that action.
That's kind of funny that you were doing a beer commercial.
I'm the manly voice you want selling your alcohol.
That'd be like me doing a commercial for car parts.
I got your brand new alternator, fuel injected
Red car.
red.
Although PMAC now is probably caught up and surpassed everybody here on his local beer knowledge.
The one thing I want to say about PMAG voicing stuff is during WHL games we had to do.
Oh, you're gonna bring this up?
Oh, this is so funny. Paul had to do a voiceover for this Mountain View Harley Davidson in Chilliwack, and he thought it was just airing in Chilliwack, so he didn't really put too much thought into it. But it aired in every break during the WHL and Shaw games, which is
across the country for a full year,
and gets as good of ratings as these regional Canuck games. But like, how can you? He would just.
It was my over the top. Okay, let's just. Because they said, try to give it one of those, sportsy sounds or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Get your motor running.
It was, and I honestly thought it was just going to air in Chilliwack. And
Mountain View Harley Davidson.
Mountain View Harley Davidson.
But he was
something. Get your motorcycles now.
So
I don't remember what I said, but it was stupid. It was horrible.
In all the mobiles I worked, you would hear the crews that do all these games. When Paul's ad would go, you'd hear Mountain View Harley Davidson. and it's like, oh, who voiced that? And I'm like, I don't know.
No phone. Who this? I don't know.
So that'll wrap it up for the podcast this week. If you don't want to give us any of your hard-earned money, which we were very appreciative, you can support the show in 2 ways. Subscribe and rate and review on iTunes, and for the love of God, leave a comment. We got to screw over that Steve Jobs algorithm, and like the Facebook page, all that jazz. We're on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter at PucksNetCA or PucksNetCa.
CA.
Oh, protest. And anybody got any closing?
Take a knee, Kaepernick.
We'll end it right there.